Let's talk quarterback dominoes, as there are some 5-stars that could be on the move, and we're going to start with one that's committed. 5-star quarterback Keisean Henderson committed to Houston for several months now, but that hasn't stopped programs from continuing to recruit him, and it sounds like there's a team that's in need of a quarterback that's going to get him on campus this summer, Steve.
Yeah, Florida State's the program that right now I'm probably watching the most as one that if you're talking about Keisean Henderson flipping, I think that the Seminoles is a program that has created some intrigue with him, with the relationship with Tony Tokars, what Mike Norvell and the Seminoles have been able to do at the position, the success that they had 2 seasons ago with Jordan Travis and the environment around the program. I think that Florida State has put themselves in position, and I'm expecting him to take an official visit to Tallahassee in June. Now, I've not he's been very adamant about Houston and being local and the love he has for Coach Fritz and that program. But this is recruiting, man. And you're a 5-star quarterback and you have an opportunity to go out, see some other schools and compare and contrast. And Florida State is a program that is one that seems to have given him reason to want to go take a look and learn more about the Seminoles as he continues to work through his process.
Yeah, Florida State quietly working behind the scenes to develop this relationship. Is there anybody else out there that you think Keisean Henderson could pop up on their campus this summer?
Well, I think a lot of schools have been trying to recruit Keisean Henderson, and some of those schools have other targets that they're more involved with right now. And so we'll see what happens. Like, does LSU, if they land Bo Bentley, I don't think they continue to recruit Keisean Henderson. Right. But if they miss on Bo Bentley, I would imagine LSU is on the gas with Keisean Henderson behind the scenes. Colorado's a program that's been swinging at Keisean Henderson for a long time. Deion Sanders and company have had him at the top of their board. And then there were programs like Georgia that offered him a scholarship that now have Jared Curtis in the fold. But Keisean Henderson's a guy that several schools, Texas A&M, there's a lot of schools that have been trying to have dialogue and talk to Keisean Henderson. But Florida State is one where I'm seeing a little bit of traction heading into summer official visits.
All right, let's move on to the next 5-star. That's Ryder Lyons out of Folsom, California. He's got a top 6 that includes BYU, Michigan, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Oregon, and USC. But, Steve, go behind the scenes of that top 6. Break this one down for us.
Well, my on 3 RPM is on Oregon for Ryder Lyons. BYU is the program that I think is right there with the Ducks. And USC is led before. They're getting an official visit. They've been very aggressive off the field with exciting opportunities for their top recruits. So anytime they're involved, particularly with a quarterback, with what Lincoln Riley's done at that position with the Heisman trophies, the number 1 overall picks, you never sleep on them. But as of today, as I talk to you now, I would go Oregon, BYU, USC. These recruitments are all fluid. Official visits coming this summer to all of them. So we'll see what happens coming out of those trips.
All right, let's swing over to Texas, where we got 4-star quarterback Bo Bentley. He's got that top 2 of LSU and Oklahoma, and we are right in the thick of this battle. This weekend, he's got LSU visit. Next weekend, it'll be Oklahoma, and then you got to assume that he's going to be ready to have a decision after that. So Bo Bentley at LSU this weekend. Who do you think going into this weekend leads for Bentley?
Well, the buzz has been picking up around LSU, so they're more than a dark horse in this recruitment. Oklahoma is a school he obviously grew up rooting for, spent a lot of time in Norman, visited there twice as a recruit. Coach Arbuckle, his track record, he's one of the hottest coordinators in college football right now. John Mateer's there at Oklahoma. The Sooners hit big in the portal. They're hoping that resonates on the field this fall. But LSU, the Heisman Trophy winners, the offense, the way they pour and invest in their quarterbacks, Nussmeier coming back as a Heisman dark horse this year. No quarterback. If Joe Sloan's recruiting you, his relationship's going to be as strong as anybody else in the field. He had a great visit to LSU, loves the way that the fans support all of their programs, not just football. LSU's got a great chance to land Bo Bentley. Oklahoma, all of a sudden, it's like that's the school he's always wanted to go to, but there maybe is a new flavor of the month that's more exciting right now. Yeah. So they got to get him back next weekend. We'll see how that all goes.
All right, let's now move our attention to 4-star quarterback Landon Duckworth, who it looks like right now you could pencil him into Ole Miss's class, and he takes that official visit on June 20th. But are there any teams that could maybe sway him before that June 20th official visit to Ole Miss?
Sure, and his recruitment's been fluid, right? He was a former
Yep.
South Carolina commit. The Gamecocks are still all in. They have Lenora Sellers under center, one of the guys that you got to look at for the Heisman Trophy. It's been a program on the rise under Coach Beamer and company. They do a great job of recruiting top targets, so they're still involved. And then you have Florida State, Gus Malzahn. He was a program when he was the head coach at UCF. They were trending for Landon Duckworth for a little bit. Looked like he was going to end up with UCF. So there's a trust there. He loves what Malzahn's done historically in football. So Florida State is in there. And then he visits Auburn this weekend. They landed Deuce Knight last year. There's a standard in the room. Landon Duckworth visiting this weekend. So Auburn gets their swing.
All right. Now, as the QB dominoes fall, we're going to see recruitments impact other recruitment. So then you got quarterbacks like an Oscar Rios, Jaden O'Neal, Matt Ponatoski. How do these quarterbacks, how are they affected by the way that these dominoes could fall?
Well, Rios and Ponatoski are interesting because Kentucky's a front runner for both of them right now. So uh, first come, first serve deal, but they both have visits playing. Ponatoski's playing baseball right now. He's got all that going on. Oregon's a school that he's intrigued in, but if Ryder Lyons were to commit to Oregon before Matt's ready to make a decision, does Oregon just say we're not taking a 26, even though Ryder's technically a 27? So there's still big decisions to be made, still some dominoes and chips out there, but Oregon can't cash in on Ryder Lyons, so they don't know if they're getting him, so they have to recruit Ponatoski, and they're excited about him, and they went and saw him, and their baseball team's excited about him. They're going to try and bring him out to campus this summer. So there's still moving parts. And then you got Alabama, right? They don't have their quarterback committed. They've offered Ponatoski. They're getting Jet Tamala, Iowa State's commit, on campus this weekend. Jet Tamala is at Iowa State next weekend for his official visit. Then he's going to make his final decision. But if Alabama misses on Jet Tamala, they still have Matt Ponatoski in play. But where do they go next? Do they get into the Landon Duckworth sweepstakes? And I'm speculating there. Obviously, he's in state. They've been able to evaluate him. They know about him as much as anybody in the country. But where do they go? Who do they try and flip? Guard your quarterbacks. They flipped Keelan Russell last year. They've shown the chops to be able to flip a prize quarterback. So those are some of the interesting ones out there. Luke Fahey is a sneaky name out there right now. He's visiting Stanford this weekend. Then he's at Indiana. I would maybe give the edge to the Hoosiers. But Ohio State is picking up steam. It's a dream school for him and his parents. He's taking his official visit to Ohio State the weekend of June 20th. So those programs are heavily in the mix for Luke Fahey out of Mission Viejo.
All right. So we'll have to see how these quarterback dominoes fall. What do you guys think will be the biggest move we see as it comes to these top 10 quarterbacks? Let us know. Comment section below.